Goodness knows you've been looking long enough. With the Volvo XC90, you've finally found what you've been looking for. A luxury SUV with seating for up to 7 people and loads of cargo space. Not to mention premium technology, including Google Maps, Google Assistant and Google Play. The Volvo XC90 is what you're looking for. Now at special run-out pricing from $99,990 plus on-roads. Visit Volvo Cars and discover why the XC90 is the vehicle for right now.
You're listening to the Weekend Sport Podcast with Jason Pine from News Talk ZB.
Story that came out overnight that Jannik Sinner, the men's world tennis number one, has negotiated a 3-month ban for doping. Quite remarkable what he's been able to negotiate there. Jannik Sinner winning the Australian Open not so long ago.
It's a second for Sinner, down under.
3 sets to love. 6-3, 7-6, 6-3.
It's a third major. And he was quite simply unstoppable.
Jannik Sinner accepting an immediate 3-month doping ban after he and the World Anti-Doping Agency reached a settlement on his period of ineligibility, which means he can return before the French Open in May. The ban began a week ago today, February 9th, and will end on May the 4th. He can return to training in a few weeks' time, April 13. The French Open main draw starts May 25, so he's not going to miss any Grand Slam action. Originally, before WADA settled with Sinner, it was going to be heard by the Court of Arbitration for Sport in a couple of months' time, and he could have faced a 2-year ban. Joining us to discuss, tennis commentator, former New Zealand tennis player Lee Radovanovich on the program. Afternoon, Lee. What was your reaction when you heard that Jannik Sinner had negotiated a 3-month ban?
Yeah, my reaction was actually around the deal. I thought it was a bit odd the way that sort of the statement was written, or the way that the press has come out. It seemed like they'd been negotiating a deal. I would have thought if you've got a positive drug test, then you get banned and they set the rules and you take the punishment. So I was a bit surprised. Not surprised that he got banned, but I was surprised that there was a settlement as if they were negotiating. And then also very convenient that his 3-month ban is in between the Australian Open and the French Open, so he can still play the French Open. So it feels a bit murky to me.
I've never come across it before. It doesn't feel like there should be any bargaining power from the athlete who was doped to be able to try and bargain down or whittle down their suspension.
I completely agree with you. If you've been a naughty boy, you get banned and you cop the ban, right? You take it like a ban. I don't like it, to be honest with you. It doesn't really affect him in any way. Sure, he's going to take 3 months off. He'll just train hard. He'll come back, play a couple of tournaments before the French Open and be the favourite or the second favourite for the French Open. Obviously, it tarnishes his reputation. But again, and you would see this in a million sports, it just makes these anti-doping agencies look ridiculous.
What message does it send to not only, I suppose, tennis players around the globe, but also any sporting athlete that this is the kind of punishment they've been dished out?
No, I think the punishment's fine. This is 3 months. I get frustrated with the excuses. You know, we had Iga Swiatek last year, when she was number one in the world, take a 1-month ban for, and her excuse was, I took a jet lag pill and the jet lag pill was contaminated. Whatever. And then with Sinner, apparently his physio had a cut on his hand and was using cream for that cut, and that somehow got into Sinner's system. And so the authorities are saying that, well, he had no fault here, didn't do it on purpose. That, again, is a ridiculous explanation, is it not?
Well, the intention to check, yeah. I've
been contaminated by my physio's cut on his hand who had some cream. Like, give me a break.
He didn't intend to cheat, but I think back to Sharapova's case, and she was taking heart medicine, and she was saying she didn't intend to cheat. I'm sure there are any number of athletes that don't intend to cheat, or at least say they don't intend to cheat, but just because you've said it doesn't make it true.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, whether it be tennis or another athlete, these kind of stories they come up with are crazy to me. But I just don't like the fact that it seems like they've done a deal, and it's a bit of a sweetheart deal because he doesn't really miss anything major that's going to affect him, right? What's his goals in tennis? Win Grand Slams. If they're really serious, they'll ban him for longer so he miss Grand Slams.
You were an athlete. Sure, you were drug tested throughout your career. Surely the onus is on the athlete to know exactly what's going into their body or on their body at any one time, because there are so many restrictions and so many rules about what you can and can't take.
Yeah, absolutely. The player's responsible for himself, but he's also responsible for his entire team. Remember, these guys individually are a business. They employ lots of people, physios, doctors, travelling coaches, you name it. It's 100% their responsibility to take care of themselves. And it's not like these guys don't get tested. They need to be available 1 hour a day, 365 days a year to take a drug test if required. So it's not like there's protocols in place. But, if you make a mistake, then you pay the price, but you should pay a heavy price.
If you were still playing, what would your reaction to playing Jannik Sinner be, and what do you think the locker room reception might be around the globe when he gets back into playing tennis?
I think people will just roll their eyes and say, oh, yeah, there's another one of those. Look, I don't think, let's say hypothetically he was taking performance-enhancing drugs, I don't think that would give him a massive advantage, because if he's doing stuff like that, the other guys are doing it too. Any endurance sport out there where players are getting paid millions of dollars, you know it, you've covered Commonwealth Games and Olympic Games, the takers are always ahead of the testers. Mm-hmm. So in terms of the players in the locker room, I think they just move on, and it's just part of the deal.
Do you think there'll be a black mark from a worldwide perspective on Sinner as his career goes forward, a bit of a black mark on whatever legacy he leaves, or will it be sort of forgotten in 6 months' time?
Totally forgotten in 6 months' time would be my thought. It'll be in the news for the next couple of days, and then he'll come back and he'll start winning again, and things will just go back to normal, would be my strong opinion on that one.
Lee Radovanovich with us on News Talk ZB. He's back eligible, obviously, as you touched on earlier. He finishes and wins the Australian Open, back for the French in time. In fact, I think the first tournament eligible he's back for is an event in his home country in Rome. So really, he's not missing too much of the big stuff in tennis at the moment, is he?
No, he's not. As I said earlier, his goal in tennis will be to be number one and win Grand Slams. So he'll go away, he'll train, he'll be in unbelievable shape for the next 3 months. It might even be good for him to take a break and work on whatever it is he wants to work on in his game. And, you could install him right now as a favourite for the French Open after his ban. And
just finally, Lee, I guess the precedent. Do you think there's been a precedent set here that you can negotiate with, whether it's just a bit of hand cream or whatever it might be, that if you're done for a positive test, then WADA is willing to bargain with some athletes?
Oh, absolutely. Every single athlete, if they are in trouble, are going to try to do that now, right? Maybe he's got a bit more bargaining power because he's number one in the world and tennis doesn't want to look bad, and perhaps they've had a history of kind of sweeping things under the rug, or, with past players. But, yeah, if you're a top-class athlete around the world in any sport, you're going to try to negotiate immediately, aren't you? Of course you are.
It's a fascinating time in the world of tennis and the world of doping. Lee Radovanovich, thanks for your time with us here on News Talk ZB this afternoon. Nice to catch up.
Okay, good to talk to you, mate.
Thanks, Lee. Appreciate your time with us here on News Talk ZB.
For more from Weekend Sport with Jason Pine, listen live to News Talk ZB weekends from midday, or follow the podcast on iHeartRadio.
For a few years in the 1970s, the Mr. Asia Syndicate made millions.
Heroin creates its own market. It acts like a form of plague.
Until jealousy, betrayal, and murder brought it all crashing down.
Then he just pulled out a gun, shot her in the back of the head, and then said to Wayne, "You're going to help me bury her."
This is Mr. Asia, a forgotten history. Listen to episodes from February 19th on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.